Good morning and welcome to Mundo Crypto's Newscast. Here's some of our top headlines today.
The Otherside Metaverse plots sell out in a matter of hours and Ethereum gas fees skyrocket.
Speaking of blockchain networks, the Solana network crashes for the 7th time this year, the reason being network congestion.
And Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, says that Bitcoin has no value.
Bitcoin will, however, continue to be of help to victims of the Ukraine war. Finland's Minister of Finance proposes the sale of bitcoins confiscated from cybercriminals with the aim of donating the proceeds to Ukrainian citizens.
Speaking of Bitcoin, it sits at around $38,000, looking to stabilize its movements after several volatile days. And pay attention to the Fed meeting on May 4th, which will look into the rise in interest rates, which directly affect the economy and, of course, the cryptocurrency market.
Let's kick off today, May 3rd.
Welcome.
Tycoon Warren Buffett, the world's wealthiest investor, takes a negative stance on Bitcoin. According to Buffett, president of the giant consulting firm Berkshire Hathaway, Bitcoin is worth nothing. At a conference, he shared that it has its magic, but people also have attributed magic to other things.
Yes, but it's not just Buffett, is it? Because the vice president of Berkshire Hathaway, Charles Munger, has also spoken out against Bitcoin. He assured, "In my life, I have tried to avoid stupid things, and Bitcoin is one of them." All the way back in 2013, he also stated that Bitcoin is rat poison, but more expensive.
In fact, according to Buffett, Bitcoin has no value. Have a listen.
Depends on the next guy paying you more than the last guy got now.
These statements are surprising if we take into account that Bitcoin is already being used as a means of payment. In other words, it already has value. In fact, Bitcoin's white paper already mentioned that it was designed to make online payments from the start.
In other news, sanctions on Russia are being now directed towards officials. Binance made the decision to block all Kremlin officials with accounts on its exchange. This is yet another step taken towards preventing them from using digital currencies to circumvent sanctions.
Following Reuters' post accusing Binance of cooperating with the Russian government, it has now doubled down on its efforts and is continually checking for sanctioned individuals who may be using its services. It seems that the words of its CEO, Changpeng Zhao, have not fallen on deaf ears. In them, let us remember it boasted of being the most active exchange in the sanctioning fight against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine.
Quite right. While some try to deter Russia, others aid Ukraine. Finland, for example, has announced plans to help the Ukrainian village in its fight against Russia by selling cryptocurrencies that have been confiscated due to cybercriminal transactions.
The number of confiscated bitcoins is considerably high. 1,981 bitcoins have been stolen from cybercriminals by the Finnish government, which in exchange stands at a figure close to $75 million with its current value.
Wow, bureaucracy is the only impediment to carrying out this idea immediately, as it must go through the Finnish parliament for approval. The local crypto asset companies CoinMotion and Tesseract will be in charge of selling the bitcoins.
Speaking of Bitcoin, Wikipedia refrains from accepting Bitcoin and Ether as a means of payment. The world-renowned online encyclopedia was one of the pioneering companies that accepted donations in the form of digital currencies until now.
After a 3-month-long discussion amongst community members which weighed up the pros and cons of cryptocurrencies, the results revealed that over 70% of respondents opted for discontinuation of crypto donations. As a result, the organisation behind Wikipedia, Wikimedia Foundation, has decided to turn its back on the decision to accept donations. Nevertheless, the foundation assured that they will continue to monitor this issue and will remain flexible to the needs of volunteers and donors, according to the statement.
Wikipedia's cryptocurrency journey kicked off back in 2014, when the company started working with leading firms in the sector such as Coinbase and BitPay to facilitate crypto donations. The aim was to help make contributions to the foundation as simple and inclusive as possible.
100%. In Belgium, the country's Market and Financial Services Authority informed individuals and legal entities interested in lending cryptocurrency services that they must first register in the country.
Service providers already operating in Belgium must also notify regulatory bodies of their intentions. The rise of digital assets has caused the Belgian government to scrutinise cryptographic companies, using the fight against money laundering as an excuse.
Some of the requirements necessary to obtain the license from the Belgian authorities is to possess a minimum capital of €50,000 or establish a fiscal hub on Belgian soil.
On the other side of the world, India is in the spotlight once again, this time due to a new directive issued by the Indian Electronics and Information Technology Ministry, which obliges cryptocurrency exchanges, virtual private network providers and data centers to store a variety of data such as customers' names, ownership patterns and contact information for up to 5 years.
Additionally, this directive, which will come into effect on 22nd of the following month, pressures said entities to notify authorities of cyber incidents and provide collected data within 6 hours of its occurrence. Those who do not comply with the new regulations may be forced to shut down.
That's right. While the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, responsible for the implementation of this measure, claims to want to tackle cybercrime swiftly and efficiently, many do question the lack of privacy that this would mean for the Indian community moving forward. On the other hand, some users are in favour of the new directive as it could potentially help prosecute tax evaders in addition to resolving crypto-related crimes.
Fair point. We'll have to check back and see if the Indian IT Ministry implements the user data collected or whether or not action is taken against cybercrime.
And from India, let's transition to Argentina, where the government of the Latin American country launched an executive decree that offers a legal framework for the use of the central bank's digital currency. Upon approval, the mint will be able to issue digital currencies and carry out various technological innovations related to digital money.
A couple of days ago, we saw the proposal of the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires, for the payment of taxes with cryptocurrencies. Now, it is the Argentinian government that paved the way for the CBDC. The mint will now have the power to issue these tokens, which will be hosted on yet-to-be-disclosed blockchain.
CBDCs aside, two of the largest banks in this country are beginning to support the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies to their customers. Banco Galicia, the main private bank in Argentina, and Bank, a fully digital entity, enter the crypto space and allow their clients to buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDC.
In Europe, CBDCs seek to find the correct regulatory path for the digital euro. The European Central Bank initiated the process of an experimental interface for the use of this digital currency.
There are 5 banks or payment service providers that will be selected to participate in the development of the initial interface of the digital currency. These institutions will have a deadline of May 20th of this year to sign up for the project.
August is the month that has been chosen as the launch for the pilot project, with the hopes that it will be concluded in the first quarter of 2023. The results stemming from the project will be presented to the Eurosystem Governing Council, which will evaluate this CBDC and its use.
With great popularity comes great risk. The exorbitant demand for NFTs has led one of the fastest blockchains in the ecosystem, Solana, to suffer from a 7-hour crash over the weekend.
On Saturday at 8 p.m. UTC, the Solana network went dark due to an explosion of bots attempting to mint non-fungible tokens on the network. Specifically, a record-breaking 4 million transaction requests and 100 gigabytes of data every second congested the network.
That's right. Bots populated the well-known NFT minting tool used by Solana NFT projects, Candy Machine, which, according to the team, was partially to blame for the crash as it pushed validators out of consensus. Almost 7 hours later, validators managed to successfully restart the main network and get it up and running.
That's great news, but unfortunately this is not Solana's first time experiencing an outage of this style. In fact, this marks the 7th outage suffered by the network. One example that stands out above others occurred in September last year as the network was offline for a total of 17 hours, which, according to the report, was due to a denial of service attack.
Although Solana is known as one of the greatest innovations in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, incidents such as this one are causing users to question the efficiency and reliability of the network. In fact, a variety of memes around social media are running around social media platforms, including that of Charles Hoskinson, founder of the Cardano blockchain network.
100%. We'll have to wait and see if they fix these congestion issues, because although it is true that users don't lose their funds, they will start to become fed up with the network's problems as trust in the blockchain begins to crumble.
In the sporting world, the Qatar World Cup continues to be linked to the crypto world. While previously we mentioned the sponsorship agreement between Crypto.com and FIFA, they've now come to an agreement with Algorand, which will become FIFA's official blockchain platform.
Absolutely. Algorand scores a goal, becoming the official sponsor of the Qatar World Cup, which will take place towards the end of the year, in addition to sponsoring the Female World Cup, which will be carried out in Australia and New Zealand in 2023. In turn, the Algorand team will help FIFA develop different strategies which will focus on digital assets.
In NFT-related news, the world-famous NFT collection Bored Ape Yacht Club now has its own metaverse. 55,000 virtual plots in this metaverse were completely sold out in just a matter of 3 hours after their launch. But the community isn't too happy with how the release was handled. First of all, Ethereum fees skyrocketed as a result of the high demand for network usage. This meant that gas fees of the Ethereum blockchain ranged between 2.5 and 5 ethers. In other words, several $1,000s.
Wow, that's a lot of money. In total, there'll be 100,000 plots in the other side. Part of these were given to Bored Ape holders, another part were given to owners of mutant apes, and the rest have been released in the April 30th sale amongst developers who are helping build the metaverse. The ApeCoin cryptocurrency, despite the success of the sale of NFTs, has fallen by 40%.
Along the same lines, Decathlon and Tezos joined forces to launch an NFT. The leading sports company has launched its first non-fungible token collection in partnership with Sean Garnier, world champion and 3-time French freestyle soccer champion. The collection features 2008 new sneaker editions, specially designed by Garnier, which pay tribute to his career.
The French sports firm decided to launch its own NFT platform creation on the Tezos blockchain in accordance with the company's objectives regarding biodiversity and climate change. Tezos use a low-energy proof-of-stake design and low cost to issue and transfer digital art are the main reasons behind Decathlon's decision to collaborate with the blockchain.
More on NFTs, Miami is one of the founding hubs of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, and with the Formula One Grand Prix being held there, the first car in the form of an NFT was launched. The relationship between the FTX exchange and the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team has made this idea a reality.
Formula One fans will be thrilled as they will be able to obtain one of 1,000 non-fungible tokens for free that will be released as a limited edition of last season's Constructors World Cup champion team.
In addition, FTX announced a collaboration with artist Mad Dog Jones to release another 10 limited editions. These will be auctioned and 2 of them will include part of the spoiler in which Mercedes cars will compete in Miami. These will be driven by 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and the final rookie of the year, George Russell.
The price of Bitcoin sits around $38,000, seeking to stabilize its movements after several days of high volatility. Tomorrow, May 4th, the Fed meets to discuss the rate hike. We'll have to be attentive to see how it affects the cryptocurrency market.
Moving on to our top gainers and losers of today. In terms of gainers, we've got Algorand, Helium and The Graph. And in terms of losers, we've got Kyber Network, Kava and ApeCoin.
Absolutely. In terms of DeFi, the main tokens by market capitalization are Terra, Avalanche and Wrapped Bitcoin.
In terms of NFTs, we've got ApeCoin, Decentraland and The Sandbox.
In the DeFi field, on-chain data reveals that the most used platforms are Ethereum, Terra, the Binance network, followed by Avalanche and Solana.
And that's all for today. We will be back here next week with more information around crypto and blockchain technology.
Goodbye.